I'm going to call the November 18th, 2025 regular scheduled board meeting to order. I've asked Commissioner Hill to lead us in the prayer, and then Commissioner White's going to lead us in the pledge. So if y'all would, please stand.
Lord, thank you for this day. Thank you for the opportunity to come together to do the work of the community. Lord, we pray that you'll be with us, you'll guide us. Lord, we pray that you'll be with Commissioner Perkins. We pray that you wrap your arms around him for healing and loving and comfort, Lord. Lord, pray everyone gets home safely. Protect us, guide us, and most of all, Lord, we pray that you'll forgive us our sins. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you guys for that. Commissioner Hale, thank you for the words for Commissioner Perkins. As you stated, Commissioner Perkins won't be present tonight. He's still feeling a little under the weather, so y'all please keep him in your thoughts and prayers. Hopefully he'll be back with us in 2 weeks. The first item on the agenda is to hold the election of the infamous chairman for 2026. I'm looking to my left and I'm looking to my right, but I'm not pointing at me. I've been here for 2 years. I think the last 3 chairmen before me did 2-year terms, Commissioner White being the last, so I'll open the floor to nominations, but don't say Travis.
I nominate Frank.
I have a motion to nominate Commissioner White as chairman for the 2026 year.
Yes. I'm good with that if Commissioner White is.
1 year. 1 year.
Commissioner White, is that a second? Is that a second, Commissioner Hale?
Yes, sir.
So all in favor of Commissioner White being the chairman for the 2026 year, say aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Was that an aye out of you, Commissioner White?
Yeah.
Okay. Just wanted for clarification purposes.
I wasn't sure if I could vote for myself.
Second item on the agenda is hold the election of the vice chair for 2026. Commissioner White is currently the vice chair. I'll open the floor for nominations for vice chair.
Don Hale.
Have a motion for Commissioner Hale to be the vice chair.
I second it.
Second by Commissioner Mobley. All in favor, aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Welcome aboard, Commissioner Hale.
Thank you.
So Commissioner Hale will be our vice chair for 2026. Next item on the agenda is item number 3 is the approval of the minutes. We just have November 4th, 2025 regular board meeting. Y'all have any questions, comments, corrections, errors, omissions on that one? I do not.
Motion to approve.
A motion to approve by Commissioner White.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Mobley. All in favor, aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries 4-0 on the approval of the minutes. Next item is public concerns and comments. I have 3 cards here, and then anyone who did not fill one, I'll ask y'all to come up at the end. If you did not, I have Miss Charlene Moss of 5984 Wiggins Road. Welcome, Miss Moss.
I'm back.
Yes, ma'am.
Not very often. What a handsome-looking group of fellas.
Well, thank you.
Hi.
My pleasure. I'm going to read this so that I can remember everything that I want to say. I'm not a public speaker, but occasionally I feel the need to express my opinion. And let me first express my gratitude to all of you on the board and to all others who help you to make the decisions that you all work so hard and with big hearts to get it right. Can't ask for much more. And you do your very best for us citizens, the county, and government issues. It takes courage, patience, bravery, headaches, laughter, and determination to want to serve in public office, especially in today's troubling times. A pat on the back, now a punch to the gut. I only became involved in any kind of politics and community interest in 2008 when Obama became president of this great beloved nation. I was scared to death what he was planning to do and had listened to Rush Limbaugh since I discovered him back in the 1980s or so and couldn't get enough of all Rush said every day, and I was getting a thorough education for sure. My husband Oscar and I in 2008 joined others to become Tea Party patriots who told us, go to local government meetings and your Board of County Commission meetings to help figure out and understand what all was going on, and so we did. Ivy Fowler, Jesse Carruthers and Douglas Udell were on the board at that time. What more education I began to get and an insight into the local government. These fellows were eager to debate issues we had, to answer any and all questions the audience offered, so we could more fully understand, participate in, and add to the issues being presented. And we learned that the board could not discuss issues with each other outside of the regular 2 monthly meetings. Their board meetings could last for long times until all in the room were satisfied in the results and the issues were presented. Now it seems that because of constraints of time, the audience participation is trying to be held in contempt for wanting to find answers to our concerns, and we're told a 3-minute limit time period is sufficient enough to ask, explain, and get answers to our subjects of concerns. And usually the same few folks like Bo Hancock, Wayne and his website, Concerned Citizens of North Florida, Keith with cards for learning the Constitution via himself and Liberty Tree University, and yes, Moses Klepper also, are the ones at the podium usually to want to have answers for all of us. The amount of research and preparation these folks have already done each day and every month is a testament to their concern for all of the issues. Concern that we keep on getting all of the current many answers from the board, and who also try to offer insights to the issues, since everyone comes with experiences in many categories that the board might need or want to hear also. But this can and usually take more than a 3-minute span of time. It should also be allowed at more than just once in the beginning before debate has even begun. We are considerate and cooperative, but also peeved that citizens' time at the podium might be interpreted to be intrusive and annoying, to the point of wanting to limit our interaction as much as possible. The board members are really doing a fantastic job, in my opinion, but every government representative needs to answer to those who vote them into office. It seems a small price to pay to allow folks to take the time needed to accomplish this goal. We're all trying to keep the county business perking as well as possible, and full citizen input seems to me to be a small concession to the board meetings, even if the discussions go on longer than the supposed allowed time. Everyone wants what is best for our county, and time at the podium is the least the board can do to accommodate this effort by the citizens. Ones who choose to make public their comments, concerns, and to keep government working better, precisely because we are so interested, and also to want to come to the podium as well as bog you down with all of our phone calls. Answers are what this is all about, and Government in the Sunshine is labeled that for a good reason. We bother to come to the meetings and help do our civic duty, and would just appreciate enough time to be allowed to have our say too. We just want to be able to work together with you and feel that you are all responsible to our concerns and wanting answers. Help make us all feel we are a part of the board's decisions and that we're all in this together. One last issue. Suwannee County is a business. As such, it must be run as one. Each department with rules, laws, competency, honesty, cooperation, integrity, transparency, for finances and for oversight by their respective department managers. When any department, including the sheriff's office, compromises the usual rules, regs, and oversight, and continues on for months and horrors, several years, heading down the wrong path, it hurts all aspects of the other county business. To refuse to ask for help or accept any and all offers from others, well, that is inexcusable and unacceptable and wrong. And also wrong to keep offering up excuses and refusing to correct itself. Our county has suffered an extremely embarrassing episode. Accountability in all county departments must be a daily priority. Thank you for your time, your talents, hard work, and your beautiful big hearts. God bless, and thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Moss. Thank you. Next up, I have Mr. Joseph Carroll of 904 Pine Avenue Southwest, Live Oak. Welcome, Mr. Carroll.
to help keep me on track. We wrote this down.
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you for allowing me to address the commission today. I represent the Sons of American Revolution, the Lake City chapter. The Sons of American Revolution is a heavily active, patriotic, educational, and historical society founded in 1869. The SAR seeks to uphold the institution of our cherished American freedoms, demonstrate and share our deep respect for our national symbols, and share the true value and responsibility of the American citizenship. All right. We do actually hold a strong relationship with the Boy Scouts and those organizations and everything. They are related and everything. For the past 250 years, Americans have been perpetuating the stories of courage, selfless sacrifice, tragedy, triumph, and patriotism. The men of the colonial America before it was the United States of America. Lot of history. We believe these stories to be universal, struggle against tyranny. We seek to inspire and strengthen each succeeding generation as it is called upon to defend our freedoms in the battlefield and in our public institutions. That includes the school systems. Right? And we have some wonderful school teachers. On 21 March 2026, the Florida Society of the Sons of American Revolution Lake City chapter will be planting and dedicating a Florida elm at the Heritage Park and Garden here in Suwannee County. This is a nationwide program we're going to be participating in. You are all invited to the solemn ceremony to dedicate the tree. The elm will officially be designated as the Suwannee County, Florida Liberty Tree as part of the Suwannee County America 250th celebrations. That's as America's turning 250 years old. You will be receiving invitations as the date grows closer, and hopefully we'll have more information published and everything on this. It's a big deal. As a very important note, last October 21st, a resident spoke to you using the website Liberty Tree Online. It is, no disrespect intended to the gentleman and his website. It is imperative to note that the Florida Society of the Sons of American Revolution is not associated nor related to this citizen's website. He is welcome to exercise his freedom of speech and do as he wish. It's just we're not associated with each other. If there's any questions, I'll be more than happy to answer them. Right? So thank you.
Mr. Carroll, you're doing a tree dedication?
Yes, sir.
What was the date? Did you have the date on that yet? Can you say that again?
I want to make sure I tell you correctly. March 14th, yes.
And where at and what?
At the Heritage Park. And we're working with the fine individuals out there that manage the program, that whole park and everything. They are wonderful people.
Right. Yeah. So the 14th, Heritage Park, and maybe between now and then you could come back and give us a time, or do y'all have a time already?
Yes, sir. And we're going to have a lot of different representatives throughout the state that are going to be there. We're reaching out to our congressional leaders, et cetera. Hopefully one of them can be out there. There's going to be a big following and everything.
Okay. Thank you for that, Mr. Carroll.
Hey, thank you.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it. Next up, Mr. Keith Roders of 970 Southwest Pine Mount Road, Lake City, Florida. Welcome, Mr. Roders.
Thank you very much for the opportunity to speak to you tonight. I want to say that, first off, I'm a real fan of the Constitution and the principles upon which this nation was founded. The greatest debate that occurred back in 1787 was the debate over how the people and the states would be represented in Congress. Initially, the people of Virginia, being the largest state, wanted to have the House of Representatives based on proportional representation. They wanted, I'm sorry, I had that backwards. They wanted the states to be represented or the people to be represented based on the population of the states. So in other words, the large states would have proportionally more representation than the small states. So small states vehemently disagreed. They believed that all of the states should be treated equally. And so thanks to Roger Sherman, they came up with what was known as the Connecticut Compromise. The House of Representatives was going to be based on proportional representation, which meant that if a state had twice as many people, they would have twice as many members in the House of Representatives. And the large states thought this was a great idea. The small states said, no, that's a bad idea because the large states are going to completely dominate the small states. And they refused, and the whole convention was on the verge of collapse until Roger Sherman came up with his plan of having a bicameral legislature. A bicameral legislature created a House of Representatives based on proportional representation and a Senate based on equal representation. This gave the small states the ability to prevent the large states from the abuse of power. And the whole purpose of the Constitution being written in the first place was not to govern the people, but it was to govern the government. And today, we have now lost our bicameral legislature. We now have two houses that both, we now have basically a unicameral legislature with two houses that both represent the people, and no one is representing the states. And so consequently, we have our Congress, our Senate has become a second version of the House of Representatives. And obviously, this is one of the problems that we have. Since the Congress first met on March 4th of 1788, there's been over 30,000 bills passed. Well, what do bills do? They don't protect the rights of the people. The bills basically seek to control the people. And every time the government signs a new bill into being, you can count on two things happening. We lose freedom, and we have taxes getting higher. And so basically the main thing that I want to share with you today is the fact that we, the people, have been deceived. You notice the word Congress, it starts with the word C-O-N, con, and that's exactly what's going on. We're being conned. We need to speak up, we need to stand up, and we need to hold the elected officials accountable. And I would request a little bit more time since I'm representing the Constitution Club. But anyway, a couple of things that have caused this problem. In the 1929, Congress decided that they wanted to give themselves more power. So they passed a statute which became the law, and it basically froze the size of the House of Representatives at 435. Well, if you freeze the House at 435, then that made proportional representation impossible. The Supreme Court has ruled on numerous occasions that there's a principle called one person, one vote. Well, in the state of Wyoming, they have 575 people. They get one vote in Congress, in the House of Representatives. Florida has 28 representatives, and the population of Florida is about 23 million. If we were equally represented with Wyoming, we would have 36 congressional districts, and we would have 38 electoral votes. Florida is not being properly represented. There are 200,000 people in each of the 28 districts in Florida that is not being counted for the purpose of apportionment. So the House of Representatives is an unconstitutionally convening. They for the last 100 years, the Supreme Court, which was equally corrupt, hasn't even dealt with this issue. And so anyway, I'm going to be doing a class on December the 13th. It's going to be a combination of commemoration of the Bill of Rights, which was ratified essentially on December the 15th in 1791, and also some other information where we'll be able to address areas concerning representation. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Broders. Anyone else from the public wishing to speak? I knew my rebel never fills out a comment card and always pops up last. Mr. Klepper, name and address.
Moses Klepper, 14581 102nd Path, Live Oak. A breath of fresh air, that first comment. With all the equipment that we have and acquiring again, acquiring why is it that we do not save money by buying the equipment outright and hire qualified mechanics and develop a team to do service and repairs? And of course, for that to work, we'd have to get rid of the typical government employees that think they don't have to work. They'd have to actually perform. But I'm watching all this equipment during the last 6 years be purchased, and almost all of it on lease, and we're paying a very high premium. We've heard the commissioner say he attempted to lease something and he tried to get out of it and cost him a lot. Lease it in the most efficient way, but we got to have employees and supervision and department heads that are accountable as well. We all got to pitch in and be part of the team and try to make this all work for everybody. The county, on consent item 18, that's for all those equipment purchases, that comment, but specifically on consent item 18, if the county only spent $6,500 in track loader rentals last year, why are we placing this item on the consent agenda with no discussion, where y'all will rubber stamp it 4-0 tonight for a 5-year lease that will cost us about 3 times that amount, or over $18,000 a year instead of $6,500? I know it's a little more trouble to rent it and all that, but for most people, $12,000 a year is worth the trouble. Another concern is that even though the chairman has stated otherwise, Florida Statute 287.055 states that government agencies are not prohibited from negotiating fair compensation before awarding engineering and architectural contracts. The 1988 provision only limits agencies during the initial selection phase. In other words, this board can and should price shop for engineering and architectural services, and should immediately stop paying secretarial services through those contracts of a rate of up to $250,000 a year, and engineering services at a rate of up to $600,000 a year through these outrageously bloated and price-fixed contracts. It speaks volumes about this board and this administration if a private citizen can uncover these facts of unutilized negotiating tools and opportunities. Once again, an unfortunate example of waste and dereliction of duty. And I got one more comment on the Fisher property. Some concerns. There appears to be at least three sinkholes on the property from our aerial view or the GIS map. The purchase seems to be going to be voted on tonight without, in my opinion, ample time for other commissioners and other concerned people to investigate and report on it. And the $1.1 million price at $11,750 an acre is for 94 acres. And so we're just assuming that the other 10 acres is for the cemetery, which is noted in the house across the street. I don't know. Also, want to know if anybody knows if that property is in the flood zone, if we're going to buy swamp. And it's offensive to me that we fought to get the millage down, and we're saying y'all are scared to death to get that tight with things, and yet we could go out and drop $1.1 million on a land purchase without any thought. Thank you.
Mr. Klepper, item 24 is under general business, so I'm assuming you're going to come back and talk under that one too. So I'm not going to address your comments in regards to that land purchase, because that's under general business, so the public will get an opportunity to speak then too. So if you want to come back up here and repeat yourself, that'd be good. And on the equipment, those are all leased to own, so we got an option to buy those at the end of those for $25,000, I believe. Tell me if I'm wrong, Miss Brenda. So it's not an outright lease. There's an option to purchase those at the end of that term. Name and address, please, sir.
Wayne Haneker, 11883 93rd Road, Live Oak. I just have a question. I'm seeing, thank you, Jason, a whole bunch of design build guaranteed max projects. but there's increases in a lot of them. And my question is that because of design change?
Mr. Chairman?
Mike? Yes, sir.
Yeah. Some design change, yeah, but mostly just cost.
Cost increases?
No, just cost from the very beginning. That's why we got additional funding from the state.
Okay, so actually these funds, we're asking for more money from the state.
Correct.
We're not taking it out of our general fund.
That's correct.
That was all.
The state's has awarded those, I believe. It's what, there's additional
What we
funds.
put initially in there was basically the grant amount that we were awarded originally. But we've gotten additional funding from the state, so.
And the cost came back short to do the proposed project, so the state has awarded the additional funds to cover the increase in the cost.
Okay, that was my question.
Nothing out of our
Yeah, I
general.
couldn't tell if it was coming out of our general fund or what.
No, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Anyone?
There's a 125 match with $80,000.
Anybody else from the public wishing to speak? If you do, come to the podium. Don't shout from the back, please. This is my last night of chairman, so we'll sit here all night if y'all want to talk. I ain't enforcing the clock. We'll stay here to midnight. If you want 30 minutes, have at it. Anybody else? I'm closing public comment. We'll move to the next one. Proclamations and presentations. Item number 4, presentation of a resolution recognizing Mr. Terry Donnell Gwynn and his contributions to Suwannee County and Florida agriculture. Seems y'all loaded me up tonight being my last meeting. I got all kind of stuff. All right. I'm going to read the resolution. I'm not going to read the cover letter. I think that's in the agenda packet. Everyone has an opportunity to read that, but I will read the resolution out loud for the record. This is a resolution recognizing Terry Donnell Gwynn, his contributions to Suwannee County and Florida agriculture, and directing the naming of an appropriate building in his honor at the Suwannee County Fairgrounds. Whereas Terry Donnell Gwynn, September 12, 1953 through August 6, 2025, was a fixture in Suwannee County and the state of Florida. And whereas for more than 40 years, Mr. Gwynn and his family operated Gwynn Brothers Farms in McAlpin, Florida, growing it from 200 acres to more than 1,000. And whereas Mr. Gwynn's agricultural acumen was recognized by the Florida Association of County and Agricultural Agents, naming him as the Outstanding Agriculturalist of the Year. And whereas Gwynn Brothers Farms became an important part of the local economy, providing needed crops and jobs. And whereas Mr. Gwynn became a trailblazer in Florida agriculture, and where he served in leadership positions for the Florida Peanut Federation and the USDA Farm Service Agency for Florida. And whereas Mr. Gwynn was a tireless advocate for fair and equal access for ranchers and farmers. And whereas Mr. Gwynn was universally praised for his faith, family, humility, and honesty, and was a role model for all the citizens of Suwannee County and the state of Florida. And whereas Mr. Gwynn's impeccable character and farming know-how helped him become the first black farmer in the state of Florida to be awarded a license to grow medical marijuana. And whereas Mr. Gwynn's life and contributions to Suwannee County's agriculture should be recognized. And whereas agriculture-related buildings are to be erected at the Suwannee County Fairgrounds. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Board of County Commissioners of Suwannee County, Florida, that Suwannee County extends its condolences to Mr. Gwynn's wife, Gigi, and his children and other family, and be it further resolved that the next building erected at the Suwannee County Fairgrounds to be used to show, display, or celebrate agriculture shall be named in honor of Terry Donnell Gwynn. Be it further resolved that a plaque be installed on the building which summarizes and honors the life and accomplishments of Terry Donnell Gwynn, so that future generations of Suwannee County can appreciate his life and legacy. Assuming passed and fully adopted in the regular session of a quorum present and voting by the Board of County Commissioners this day of November. Any questions, comments, anyone from the public wishing to speak on this particular matter? Or do I have a motion to approve the resolution as proposed?
Mr. Chairman.
Ms. Gwynn, and then Mr. Morrison, you need something as well?
No, I was just bringing your attention.
Okay.
Walking up.
Welcome, Ms. Gwynn.
Thank you so
Yes, ma'am.
much. Thank you, honorable commissioners. On behalf of my husband, Terry Donnell Gwynn, and our entire family, I want to express my deepest gratitude for this honor. Thank you to the county commissioners and to everyone in our community who made this proclamation possible. Donnell was born and raised right here in this county, and this place shaped the man he became. He believed in giving back, in showing up, and in serving the community that had poured so much into him throughout his life. Whether it was through his work, his time, or his willingness to lend a hand whenever someone needed help, Donnell lived his life with humility, integrity, and a genuine love for people. This proclamation is more than a recognition of his name. It is a reflection of the values he lived by and the impact he left on all of us. Our family is deeply moved, and we are grateful that his legacy will continue to be remembered in the community he cares so deeply. Again, on behalf of the Gwynn family, we thank you so much. We are humbled and we are deeply honored. And again, thank you for considering him, honoring him, and loving him the way he loved his community and his family and friends. Thank you again.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for
Thank
coming
you.
up and speaking, and thank you for those words. I have no doubt that this resolution will pass unanimously, and for me, it's an honor and a privilege to be a part of a board that's going to pass this tonight.
Thank you.
Any other commissioners want to comment?
I will, Mr. Chairman. I know the family. My wife actually was in nursing, or still is in nursing. When she first started out, she took care of Mr. Gwynn's mom, and it's a wonderful family.
Thank you.
I mean, just inside and out, and we just appreciate everything all of you have done.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner White.
Donnell was a good neighbor, good friend, and I always thought a lot about him. I mean, he was Johnny on the spot, and if you needed something, he'd help you with it, or he'd loan it to you, or he'd let me go use his scales. I mean, it was just, and if, same way for him, you know, if he needed something, we just worked it out, you know. It was a good relationship. Very proud of what he done, what he accomplished, and was glad to have him for a neighbor.
Thank you so much.
Good job. Thank you,
Thank
Commissioner
you.
White. So with that being said, do I have a motion to adopt and approve the resolution?
So moved.
Have a motion by Commissioner White. Second by Commissioner Mobley. All in favor, aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries 4-0.
Can we get a picture of Miss Gwynn?
Yes. Miss Gwynn, would you like to come up so we can get a picture? We'll come down front. All right, that was item number 4. Next item, we have the consent agenda. We have items 5 through 22. Any questions, comments, concerns on those agenda items? Or do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Have a motion by Commissioner White to approve.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Hale. All in favor, aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries 4-0. Next item on the agenda is constitutional officers. Are there any constitutional officers present wishing to speak? None. See none, I will move to staff. Are there any staff members present wishing to speak? See none, we will move along. Commissioner items. Commissioners, do y'all have anything?
I do not.
No, no, no. Next item. Well, awesome spot. County Attorney,
Thank you, Mr.
Mr.
Chairman.
Morrison.
3 things. Just a reminder, the most important part of our agenda every year is happening the Saturday after Thanksgiving for the Florida Steak Game. And for those unaware, this year the bet between Commissioner White and myself is that Commissioner White representing that swamp in the south, and myself, Florida State University. If the loser has to wear a neck piece selected by the winner, to be determined, declare on the record, forever in the public records of the state of Florida, the domination and superiority of the opposing program. And for the next 2 meetings in December, gavel in the meeting with Thor's hammer of the correct team that won that year. So, Mr. Chairman, I believe our soon-to-be chairman, I fully believe, will have an excellent gavel to gavel that in for the first meeting in December. The second item, Mr. Chairman, I usually don't do these things without just kind of talking about community items, but this is one that I think is actually interesting and should affect people. For those who don't know, Governor DeSantis has pumped a bunch of money through the Education Department through forwarding the Florida Speech and Debate Community, FCDI, and it's given a bunch of money to schools to start speech and debate programs. And so Suwannee High School this year has started a speech and debate program. Branford has started a speech and debate program. Suwannee Middle School started a speech and debate program. For those who don't know, I won a national championship in that stuff back in the day, so I've been helping coordinate that stuff through the various schools. This year, just this last weekend, Mr. Chairman, was the first regional competition for all of the programs throughout North Florida. It was held over in Madison, and there were winners in various events from all 3 Suwannee County schools, this being their first year in existence. So congratulations to those Suwannee County kids, and give your support to those schools, because the governor's really pointing it, or really forwarding it hard, to the point of their tournament this year, and they named it in honor of Charlie Kirk. The winners receiving $50,000 in scholarships on down for all of the events. So get your kids involved in public speaking. There's a lot to be done. So just wanted to point that out for everybody. The last bit, Mr. Chairman, is the Cherry Beckert audit. I know everybody is very anxious to get their hands on it and see what it's going to say and do. I've been in contact as the point person for the Cherry Beckert audit. I spoke with them again. I spoke with them on Friday and again yesterday. I will have that in hand next week. At that point in time, we will forward it to get made part of the agenda for the following meeting in December. So congratulations, Commissioner White. And I'm sure that first meeting will go over very pleasantly. But anyway, I just wanted to give everybody an update as to status, that we do have a date and we're locked in.
I did not plan that, by the way, for the record.
I think there's collusion.
I did not plan that.
Surely think there's collusion between the attorney and the chairman.
I'm not subject to the sunshine law.
Mr. Morrison, was your wife aware prior to marrying you that you were a national debate winner?
Yeah.
Did you disclose that?
She was my debate partner.
I bet it gets interesting around your house.
One of my kid won her event. And good God, she lets us know about it.
Well, she gets it honest.
Yeah, that's one word for it.
Apple tree.
Yeah.
Okay. Next item, consultant items. Are there any consultants present wishing to speak? Seeing none, we'll go to general business. General business, item number 23, discuss with possible board action core funds. Chief Miller.
You see that?
Yes, sir.
All right. Let's see if this will work. Good evening. This won't be long, I promise. It's only 4 slides. I wanted to talk to you tonight about the CORE initiative, and basically it's another revenue stream through opioid settlement funds. And Suwannee County has earmarked a bunch of money that we are allowed to use to expand our community paramedic program that we have going on. So Basically, the money can be used for emergency response. Its primary use was for emergency response for overdose or suspected overdose cases. Which is what the community paramedic stuff we started for with that original opioid funding. This money is going to help us expand it to provide what they call medical assisted treatment and help bridge the gap between people who go to the ER seeking assistance and that time frame from when they get out to where they actually get placed in like a rehab facility. There's usually maybe a 2 or 3 day period sometimes, and a lot of times, they make the hard decision to go ask for help. They leave the hospital and they can't get in quite as fast as possible. They revert back, they fall back, and this will allow us to actually, we've already met with hospital management. They can refer them while they're in the hospital to our team. Our team can actually meet with them in the hospital, set up appointments, go see them the very next day in their home so they don't have to drive anywhere. We can give them their initial dosing and help get them to where till they get accepted into the rehab programs. We can also use this funds for expanding our community service ability. Our community paramedics we have one and then a couple casuals, but they're already up to 400 patients now, and they do things so much more. They help arrange transit for people who can't make it to their doctor's appointments, help with medications, we have some blind people that help them order food, help them smoke detectors in their house, just simple things, things that a lot of the times before we started this, people would just call 911 for. And we'd have to send ambulances and fire trucks to their house, and you get there, well, I just need help getting this, or I need help getting off the floor, or something like that. So it helps free up our 911 ambulances to where they can be dedicated strictly for the citizens when they call 911. So myself, Mr. Furry's been on a couple of these calls with us, and it got a little late start. It was approved in July. It was supposed to kick off. You can see here by the roadmap that we were meeting with the core individuals and coming up with plans and ideas. And we were supposed to be executing our contracts in September, and then should be in the field by the end of September. We're actually, like I said, they got a couple of months delayed, so I'm actually here asking to move forward with the contracts. I can bring contracts back next meeting if you need to, if you can't approve it now. But we want to get this up and funded. Suwannee County was earmarked $775,000 for this for year one, and then, as you can see, $387 for year two, and then it continues for the following 15 years at $193. But what you don't use rolls over, and it just continues to build. What we asked for was we made a plan out with Lutheran Services, who manages it for the Department of Children and Families, for the $467,000, and that's basically to fund 5 new FTE positions to where they can go out and start providing the services. What we don't use rolls over. The money goes into their salaries the following years. And then, like I said, it's basically a way to expand the ability to provide for the community and the people in Suwannee County without using our taxpayer money or having to raise taxes or find funding streams. No, this is through opioid settlement funds. So just wanted to bring you up to speed on what that is, kind of asking really, I don't know if you can approve. Yes, well, Lutheran Services, before they drew up this whole contract, they kind of wanted to know, hey, are we going to do this or not? I can have the contract back for you to approve by next meeting. I don't know if you can give authorization for the director or the administrator to approve it, pending attorney. Okay, no, all right. So the ask is going to be then to approve the use of this funds for the 5 new positions, similar to the opioid funds and the community paramedic position you guys funded 2 years ago, I think is when you started that. So
It would just have to be subject to affirming the written contract.
okay. But any questions on this, or
So, Chief, this is basically an 18-year
right
agreement.
Yes.
Or funds.
It's an
The funds are
18-year
available.
fund, yes.
And looking at I don't have that spread. That
Yeah, no,
we don't have that in our packet, so I'm
Yeah, I
half
just
blind. But
whipped this.
the
Hold on a minute. Which one do you want to see?
I mean, how much money a year?
Well, this first year, there was $775,000 earmarked for Suwannee County. Okay, we're only asking for the 467, so that balance is going to roll into year 2 and get added to the 387. So that's going to bring you up to, another 600 and some thousand. Assuming we get the same, we need the same 400 next year, we'll get that. Whatever balance rolls into year 3, we get that, and then it reduces down for the rest of the 18 years at the 194. Now, the long-term plan is within those 3 years, we have ideas on how to use these crews to fund themselves. There are different contracts that we can go after that we've been in talks with the hospital, different things we can do, some doctors. And with, before I came here, Lieutenant Taylor, the community paramedic, she just had a meeting with the health department, and they're going to be able to contract with us, and we can assist with vaccines. This team can do vaccines. So if we have citizens who don't have a way of getting to their doctor or getting to the hospital, we can get the vaccines, go to the house, and get it for them.
I guess a concern that I would have. I mean, this all sounds great, but when these funds dry up, and the idea is these positions don't self-fund. Basically, I don't want to put.
My long-term goal within, a year or 2 will be they'll be self-funding through other means. Interfacility transfers, maybe, is an option. So we already have a dedicated unit for this, so we don't have to buy a vehicle right away or anything like that. So.
What was the young lady's name that does that?
Micah Taylor, Lieutenant Taylor. Yep.
Yeah, I spoke with her.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all had a fire down close to the nursery, and I spoke to her for 15, 20 minutes probably,
Mm-hmm.
and I was asking her how it was going and were they having success with it, and it was real positive. So I got to say, it was a lot better than I anticipated.
Yeah, so I've been here a year and 4 months. When I got here, they were about 200. I asked her, she's at 400.
Yeah.
And
Which is, it's great that they can, excuse me, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah.
Yes, sir,
It's
Commissioner.
great that we have those services. It's sad that we have to have
It is.
services for 400,
And then-
but yeah.
But for example, one of the first things that one of these crews will be able to do is, so right now she schedules her meetings, she goes out to somebody's house and does her checkups and whatever. But when she gets there and they're not doing well, she needs them transported to the hospital. She has to call a 911 ambulance to come get them and take them to the hospital. Basically, she would be able to call her own crew, keep the 911 trucks available for citizens. So that's going to help reduce. When they're not running those type of calls, they would be able to do the other stuff, transfer or vaccines or any of that kind of.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir, Commissioner Hill.
I don't disagree with what I think you're, I won't call it a concern, but just being mindful of.
Yes, sir.
Is that something, Chief, you could put together? I mean, I think just a consensus would be good to get things rolling.
Right, that's kind of what I'm looking for.
But if you could come back with like that long-term plan on paper for us to look at,
I can try to get it.
Yeah. Get on it.
Or
Yep. I just think it would make everyone feel, and the public too.
I got
so
you.
they know.
Okay.
Because when the funding's gone, funding's gone. I mean,
Right.
it's got it's a long, I've never seen one for 15 years or 18 years. That's
Well,
pretty amazing. But
the current opioid money, I think, is a 15-year one.
Okay.
It's not anything, it's not this high, but,
Well, maybe you can show those two
This was-
combined and how you plan on working.
They're two separate funds, but we're going to be able to use them to fund all of it.
Right.
So the same Lutheran Services is who's managing the money for the state and both of them. So.
Yeah, that was my thought.
Yes, sir. Any other questions for the chief?
One more before he sits
Yep.
down, if you don't mind, Chief, while you're up there. I had a friend of mine, he works for the High Springs Fire Department. Said there was some training going on here. Do you mind talking about that a little bit? Because he said it was amazing.
Yeah. So one of the things I've always said to people is, the fire departments, we're all over the place, right? But we can't do it ourselves. Like no one fire department can do everything by themselves. So whether it's a call or whether it's training. So when we have opportunities where we teach classes in-house to our own people, we always offer that out to the other departments, see if anybody wants to send. We don't charge them. You know, it's something that may save their life. It may save a citizen's life. So we have the seats available. We have the instructors already. We already have the equipment, so we offer them, you know. And reciprocal, that it happens both. You know, we have a standing agreement with Palatka. They're doing some training for us, so we're going to be sending people there.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So, Chief, you just need a consensus to get the contract document?
I told the people of the Corps, I was like, hey, I got the meeting tonight. I'll let you know in the morning. Yes, draft, because I guess it's a pretty big contract on their side that they draft all the paperwork. So I'm like, yep, go ahead. They have to officially look at it before they can approve it 100%. But
And it's no equipment, it's just the positions.
yeah, well, there's a whole budget spreadsheet that will be in it, but we have money. There is money in that. Part of that money is like some medication, some things like that. But majority of it's all benefits and all that.
Not those life-saving packs that are $100,000 a piece.
No, those are all done. Those
Okay.
actually went in service 2 days ago. So I'm hoping to do a big press release and do kind of thing. We're one of the, first departments in the state to upgrade to the new stuff. So,
Any other questions? Or do we have a consensus for him to move forward and get the contract, bring it to the county attorney and back to us?
okay,
I think you got consensus.
appreciate it.
I'll have time. It'll be fun.
What's that, Mr. Morrison?
I was whispering to Jason.
Thank you, Chief. Flip back to my agenda. That was 23. So item 24 is discuss with possible board action the purchase of real property located at US 129 South. That's 24. So I'm not gonna, I'll scan through this instead of reading it because it's kind of long. Last week I was contacted about I'm gonna call it the Fisher piece, which is on 129 South. It's catty corner across the street from the library on US 129 on the east side of US 129, opposite of the library. The county's been looking for a good long while for where to build a public safety complex and also what land would, at some point in the future, would the county expand government offices. Being tax collector, we've heard from them all during budget workshops. They're all busting at the seams over there. Tax collector, property appraiser, and the public defender have all wished or voiced their desire for more space. Before this property was for sale, but there was no appropriate land in the city limits suitable for the county to build a public safety complex and government buildings. So this board and previous boards before us, the thought process has always been, if at some point when we relocate government offices, what will that do to downtown Live Oak? What will that do to the businesses that rely on those employees? Restaurants, walking distance, coffee shop. We don't want to see downtown dry up or become vacant. So there's a desire of this board, I believe, and staff to try to keep, when expansion occurs, to try to keep those jobs as close as possible to downtown Live Oak. The property adjoins the city limits. There's city water and city sewer at the library, so I feel it's within reach and financially feasible to get over there. We have funds for EOC building in the budget, some grant funds, and there's some additional funding there as well. We have not isolated a property as of yet on where, and I'm not saying that the EOC has to go there or public safety complex has to go there, but we've talked about the brownfield property out by the airport. DEP or EPA, one of those will not clear that site due to the previous contamination on it. So we thought we would go there at some point. That's been denied due to environmental. So this property came for sale. I've spoke to previous board members that have sat on this board, none of which are on this board today, but previous board members, they had isolated or identified that particular piece of property as one of major interest if it became available for government offices due to its location, a relative location to across the street from the school board, across the street from the library, etc. Public utilities, very, very close. At any rate, the property came on the market. Staff was notified, in which staff notified me, and I and staff negotiated a contract through Mr. Morrison. The copy of the contract is in here. Hearsay, but we were told there were multiple local land developers looking at the property as it was fresh on the market. It's zoned commercial up front, and with the utilities there, obviously a hot commodity, could potentially be high demand, hot commodity for future residential development due to its location to public utilities. So nonetheless, guys, it doesn't matter to me which way y'all want to go on this. I thought it was worthwhile for the board to secure a contract on it and then bring it to the board, which is a copy of the contract's in your agenda packet. We went back and forth with the sellers. I don't know if they're here or not. I don't know if the sellers are here or if Mr. Poole or anybody's here. But nonetheless, it's up to you guys, whatever you want to do. I felt like it was worth a shot to bring it to the board. We did agree upon a sale price of $11,750 an acre. I do feel like we are potentially overpaying a little bit on that property, but due to its location and proximity to the city limits and water and sewer across the street for the library and the school board administration office, it's kind of one of those things. If we buy it 20 years from now, I think that we'll look back or the boards will look back and be like, yeah, that was a pretty good move, or at least I hope so. Nonetheless, I'll quit talking. Questions, comments, thoughts, concerns from the board, and then, obviously it's general business, so I'll certainly give the public or anybody else that's wishing to speak an opportunity to do so when we get there. Board members, questions, comments, concerns?
I have one.
Yes, sir. Commissioner White.
I was looking under the property details. Is the timber that's on the track,
It's in,
do we get to keep it? Or, because what I'm reading in here is we have to give them sufficient time to harvest that. It ain't in the contract, I'm sorry, it's in this.
No, I think
Identification.
that
I
is
don't know how that got.
so what you're looking at, Mr. Chairman?
that's the listing for the.
So when I was putting this agenda item together, I put in at the back of that is the listing for the Bass property across the street.
And I failed to mention.
And so that's being listed at $23,000 an acre, less than that. And that was my reason for including it, so you didn't think that we were pulling it out of our rear end. So no, the property would come with the timber on it.
Okay.
Those are the details for the Bass property, or I don't know
I got you.
across the street. And that particular property was a hot topic with the city. If you remember here, 6-8 months ago, there was a developer looking at that, and he needed some. I don't know if it was LDRs or zoning or what, but he needed some changes, and that was a hot topic. That property is still for sale.
Yeah. And I did go out with Mr. Norris and ride the property and look at it, and it is an exceptional, good piece of property. It's very high and dry. Yeah, there's a few low spots on it, but nothing to be concerned about. A really, really nice piece of property. And a matter of fact, if the county don't want it, I'd like to have it.
Yes, sir. Commissioner Hale.
I heard you say you thought the 11,000 was a little high, but I got a family member just paid 10,000 for 10 acres. So,
Yeah, that's just my personal opinion. I think if you go north of town between 90 and I-10, you'll see comps in that retail sector of $120,000 an acre for a 1 acre piece. Yeah, this is how many acres we buy will be based upon the survey. Surveyed out. So 90, 96, 98, 101, it is however much that cemetery ends up being cut out and what our boundary, and the purchase price will be adjusted at $11,750 per acre, per surveyed acre.
I got you.
And plus, it's got paved road access on both sides.
On two sides, there's paved road access on Miller Street, which is in the city limits, and then US 129 south. So my thought process, guys, in this and public is, look, if Suwannee County or government offices are going to grow, we know that most of our rooftops, most of our citizens are south of Live Oak, not south of 90. because most of our land is south of 90 inside the county. So it makes sense to me to move those government non-tax, non-ad valorem properties, buildings, because you won't pay taxes on them, south of town, closer to our citizens, so they're not inconvenienced when they have to go buy a new tag or pay their ad valorem tax. They don't have to drive. Because someone brought up, hey, why don't you put that on Summit? The property, well, that's retail, that's tourism, now you're going to have all the folks that live in O'Brien, McAlpin, Welborn, the south of 90 are going to have to drive all the way through Live Oak to buy a $25 tag. Not to mention,
Can you imagine what that would be?
the price of that property out there, in my opinion, is significantly more than $11,750. So you're going to take those acres off the tax rolls. Potentially that may be on the tax rolls at some point, because we don't really at this point know how Summit will be 10 years from now. But if you fill that space up with government offices, then that's less motels, that's less restaurants that won't be there, that will pay ad valorem, that will have jobs. But if you take it south of town where that retail and commercial space is, I'm going to say, less desired, it's definitely less expensive. Well, not that that's a bad piece of property, because it certainly is not, but you put that property at the I-10 US 129 interchange, and it's significantly, what is it, location, so that the value significantly increases due to traffic, retail. Anyway, so my thought process was, if we're going to expand government in the future, we should expand it to the south of 90, where most of our citizens are, where the property isn't that retail price per acre. But again, there's 5 of us here, 4 of us here tonight, and it's totally up to you guys. But it was on the market. Someone had to secure it. I secured it as the chair last time tonight, Commissioner White. But
I think logistically you're right. I mean, can you imagine if everyone that went to these offices had to go through town and go all the way out there? I mean, we're already having an issue with traffic as it is. But the other thing I would say, you mentioned several other, like possible EOC. I think it's right by the schools, expansion for them if need be, their offices, whatever. I mean, it's just a lot there. I mean, I hate buying a bunch of land right now, but one thing I didn't do, and I was going to ask if anybody here, has anyone reached out to tax collector, to Sharon or Ricky or anybody to see?
I have not spoke to the tax collector, but I did speak to the property appraiser, and that property was identified by the board when he sat on the board.
Oh, gotcha.
And another commissioner that was on the board at the same time with him, and both of them said they had their eyes on that property for future expansion. He was on board if it, in 5 years, 10 years, if his office severely, or since had to move due to spacing, he was on board with it. He didn't know where else in downtown Live Oak we would build it either. I mean, the only other space you have right here, and it's going to cost you several $1 million to buy a football field that I don't even want to talk about, to buy from the school. So that's all you got. I mean, and this is a public meeting, but where else are you going to find 20 acres close to the courthouse to build another building? I mean, if somebody's got a better idea, I'm all ears, but that's the best I got.
That's been a conversation between myself and Miss Sharon and other Mr. Berry and everyone for years now. They're busting at the seams. I don't know. I don't know the answer either, but I think we can't keep sitting on it. Can't keep not doing something. So, I don't know. What about it, Mr. Mobley? Being quiet down there.
Well, I don't see nothing wrong with it. It might be a touch high, but where else are you gonna find it at, you know? Just
Well, like I said, if you don't want it, I do.
Well,
At that price.
you know,
I mean,
I had
just-
something else I was going to say, but I don't
That's just
remember.
going to be, it's just like the piece north of town. I know everybody probably thinks we're just here just scarping up land, but you're never going to get a chance to purchase something like this again, the way this county is growing. And if you do, it's going to be wildly more expensive than it is right now. And at 11, I've been looking on Zillow. You're talking about 10-acre lots that's going for $15,000 and $16,000 an acre now in this county. I watched them. Now, whether they're selling for that, I don't know, but that's what they're listed for. So, to my way of thinking, with what all it offers as far as access, water and sewer, south of town. I mean, it just fits, it checks all the boxes at what I think is a fair price.
Well, and I remember what I was going to say earlier. You and I were on the board, and Commissioner Hill was too. So the board at the time, and I don't think we were on the board when the purchase happened, but we came on the board after on 112th Dry Prairie Road. So the boards prior to me and Commissioner White coming on board had agreed to purchase that property down there, in which we did, and that was also good insight on that board. South of town.
Trying to make
now,
it more look
go south. Don't go. I mean, everybody. Most of our population lives south due to how the county's geographically shaped. That's just facts. It's not discriminating about any other side of town. That's just geographically, that's where most of the rooftops are. But we later on decided that might be a little too far south, due to fiber, water, sewer, et cetera, so we sold it, and the board made a little money, not that was their intention.
Pulling out what you said, it would pull quite a bit out of the city of Live Oak.
And it was, like I say, a little too far, for the infrastructure that the county would need for 100 people flushing the toilet, but not to pull those folks that go to lunch that are county employees or visitors of the county offices. It would hurt the businesses significantly and take all that traffic out of Live Oak. So the kind of came to us later on, like, it might be a little too far. Well, the board agreed to sell it. We sold it, came out of there unscathed, and came to the good. There was money in the black, not the red. But again, I don't think, what I'm saying here is we're not reinventing the wheel. Previous boards have been looking south too. So it's whatever y'all want to do. Any questions, comments? Mr. Morrison, you got anything?
No, sir, Mr. Chairman.
So what do y'all want to do? As a matter of fact, before we vote, I'm going to ask the public. I about forgot. Anybody from the public want to speak? Welcome, sir. Name and address.
Bo Hancock, 6135 Wiggins Road. Give y'all a little history real quick. Jason Bashaw was chairman. They came up when he was on that board. This goes back years now. They came up with a term, they called it the county campus. They were going to move all county operations to one piece of property. Property in Dry Prairie, that was part of that initially, but there were too many cons. The people didn't want the county trucks coming down the road and all this other thing. There was a lot of negatives. Now, y'all have an opportunity, a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to buy something. You're not going to find this again. Franklin was exactly right. Good Lord ain't making any more property. That dirt's there. If you don't jump on it now, you're going to cost this county and the citizens in the future probably 10 times as much money, because you're going to have to do something. When Al Williams was sheriff, he was telling the county commissioners then, and every sheriff since then has told you, we're going to have to do something with that jail. No commission's done anything other than spend a lot of money on repairs, and they're faced with a lot more money to keep it up and repair it, get it back in condition again. They got that property things now, electronicals. You can't go out and buy them, those parts anymore. You've got to manufacture them, redesign them to get doors to open and other things over in that jail. Mark's not here, but he could tell you that you got problems there, and it's going to get worse. Building's 30 years old. But you've been warned that piece of property is large enough. If you had to, you could put a jail out there, or a jail facility. You might be able to work something out with the neighboring counties and put a metro jail or something there. I don't know. Funding from the state wants to look, that's why we have a regional water utility. They want to deal with regions, not individual cities and counties.
And to his point, he's right, Mr. Bozier. I just thought so when you said it. Actually having the property too, when we apply for grants and
It's a
seeking
plus.
money, is a huge plus. Yeah.
Plus, it gives you options like Mr. Bo spoke about, maybe a regional jail. You know, because you got plenty of room there. I'm all in favor. I'm just sorry.
It's also an ideal spot for another fire station. Just throw that one out.
From a retired fireman.
And by the way, the chief is saving y'all a lot of money. He's coming up with programs and unique funding sources. And I worked in the fire service 38 years. He's finding sources that, hell, we didn't even think about. But he's doing a heck of a job, and he's using his manpower and getting the maximum use for every dollar you spend. Thank you.
How much did you pay him, Chief? Did you pay him to say that?
You buying his dinner at the Brown Lantern tonight?
No, Mr. Yes, sir. Name and address, please, sir.
Steve Fontana, 21181 144th Street. Just a quick question, and kind of a concern for the city a little bit, that I feel like, and maybe I haven't been here long enough, but I feel like I'm starting to see some businesses, you know, they're going out, Big Lots is gone, things like that. But the post office has been sitting there for sale for the longest time. I don't know if it's still for sale, but has the county ever considered approaching, I don't know if it belongs to the federal government, trying to get that for a song?
I think a private,
More than it's worth.
it's owned by a private entity, and that private entity in that building is 30 years old also.
1930s, Mr. Chairman.
Built in 1930. So,
Okay.
It's odd.
it would be a straight demolition project,
level it. All right.
and now you got two private sector parcels right behind it. So you need. What are you going to do about parking if you buy that? And then you got the tent shop right next door to that. That's owned private sector. So you got 4 other parcels there that the private sector owns. So you're still handicapped. In other words, you can't control your own destiny because you just buy the post office. And that post office, I lived here when that post office was open. So did probably everybody else. And parking was a disaster when it was a post office. So I wouldn't be in favor of buying the post office.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
I don't know. Anybody else from the public wishing to speak? Mr. Hancock, I appreciate your comments. I think you're dead on it. I think today this is a good deal for the seller, and it's a good sale for them. I don't think it's a bad sale or a bad purchase for the county. I think 10 years from now, when some more of this growth hits, the county, I hope, will look back. I think so. We'll look back and be like, sure glad we bought that when we did, or we never would have owned it. And now there's 65 houses sitting out there that we got to go further out, even further for that piece of property where we will inevitably have to expand. I mean, you look around, every small town that you can think of over 20 years has grown. Look at Suwannee County, Live Oak, 20 years ago. I mean, it's inevitable. So I think it's good. I think it's smart growth. I think it's putting the right kind of economics in the right spot, south of town versus north of town. Offices trying to keep them close. Yes, sir, Mr. Ford, I'll recognize you.
Mr. Chairman.
Name and address real quick.
Robert Ford, 8896 135th Loop, Live Oak. Just one quick question regarding the cemetery. What would happen to that? Would that be controlled by the county or deeded over to a private organization?
No, so the cemetery, yes, sir. So the cemetery, in my negotiation with them, is going to be surveyed out. The sellers, the current owner of the property would maintain ownership of the property, and I'm not sure if they're going to sell it or deed it or give it to us. What I told them is like, hey, we have no interest in the cemetery. That is, you own the cemetery, you keep owning the cemetery, you do whatever you want to do with the cemetery, but the county's not in the business of owning an existing cemetery. So they said, fine, we'll take care of the cemetery, we'll survey the cemetery out, we'll keep the cemetery and do what we please with the cemetery. So the cemetery will not be included in this purchase. And what they do with it, I'm not sure, but it won't be ours.
Is it,
Mr. White?
Is there any, have we discussed or have you and the attorney and maybe Mr. Fury discussed how this is going to be funded? Or?
So I watched the budget and count the money. So yes, I have talked to Keith and I've talked to Barry. My ideas, and I wasn't going to put my cart before my horse, but if the board so chooses to purchase and proceed, my ideas for funding were going to be, we got several options. We got ARPA money, CARES money, which we know Mr. Furry's already told us we may need that to finish or come up with some shortfalls at the wastewater plant and the catalyst site. We have a line of credit with a zero balance, and we got $1.6 million sitting in contingency. I'm sure we could carve out 100 here, 100 there, but my thought process would be, this is just mine, is I don't want to pay interest on money when I got money in the bank. We know the wastewater plant is months or a year down the road, so either we pull it all out of ARPA / CARES. I lump those two together because they were both federal funds, or we pull some of it out of there, some of it out of contingency, and we buy it. We don't finance it. If the wastewater plant comes short of money, we cross that bridge when we get there. We don't know that Commerce or the state might help us out a little bit, or we put it on the line of credit, or we figure out what to do, cross that bridge when we get to it.
One other idea too, I mean, it doesn't matter, it'll wash, but you have a loan for the,
Oh, yeah. Yep.
like I'm losing my train of thought, but we got a $2 million loan that's almost paid off. That's in the next year or two, if I'm not wrong, maybe 3, I don't remember, but you'll have that excess money that you won't be paying on that loan as well. So.
To replace right, so we could
potentially put that back in.
Yeah, so right, Commissioner White, well, my thought process was to say, hey, let's pull the money and pay cash, essentially, and then if the board wants to put that money back, then come budget workshops when some of those other debt service items or monies or contingencies, like, hey, we took $1 million out of here, so for the next 3 years, let's take $500,000 straight off the top and put it back over there where we took the money from to make us back whole over 2 or 3 year or 4 year period to make us back whole wherever we pull those monies from. But the cash is, we don't have to finance it, is what I'm saying.
I lean more towards not messing with the contingency and maybe using those other two funding. And again, we're 18, 24 months out on the site out there, and I would like to think like you, maybe Commerce or someone.
We just don't know what that budget shortfall, we don't know what the shortfall for the wastewater plant is going to be. Is it going to be $1 million? Is it going to be $2 million? Is it $750,000? Like, we know we're going to be short.
Well, yes, sir, Mr. Chairman, and we should know pretty soon, because I think it'll be in January when we get the rebid back.
Right.
So we won't be paying for the construction until, that year or two out, but we will need to bring a contract and be able to have a funding source to award that contract. So we will know more in January.
State's attorney bill, that's what I was trying to say.
So, let's look back to the land purchase. So, I will ask, is there anybody else from the public wishing to speak? Okay. Do I got a motion to approve?
I'm going to make a motion before Commissioner White buys it.
Okay. I got a motion to approve the contract by Commissioner Hale.
Second.
Have a second by Commissioner White. All in favor, aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries 4-0 to purchase. Now let's talk about the funds.
Okay.
Board, what are your ideas on where to pull the funding sources to make the purchase? We talked about a couple ideas. We know what's kind of out there.
I still say the CARES and the ARPA.
Mr. Gentry, if you have a comment on this, I don't mean to put you on the spot, but you might want to come up here. You're the money guy. Yeah, well, I'll put you on the spot. That's why you make the big bucks.
Well, we do have the 8.4 in the CARES ARPA funds. Better to use that than to pay interest on something on the line of credit.
100%.
And I don't know, I mean, once it's gone, unless you have a means to replenish it, maybe through these surplus funds from the constitutional officers or something for that, who are going to be using that building, I don't know.
Yeah, so we don't know what the surplus funds will be from constitutionals, but
It'll be a few years to cover that.
right, those
much expense.
sometimes monies come back, sometimes they're insignificant, sometimes they have another need that popped up and it's like, hey, I do have surplus, but
Exactly.
this happened and I didn't expect this, I didn't budget this just happened. I'd like to use those surpluses for that. So that, I mean, that happens too, so we can't predict what those surplus will be. I mean, I'm with Commissioner Hale and I believe White, just paying for it.
Oh, I'm good with that. I'm good with the ARPA funds. The only reason I brought up the loan with the state, because that'll be more revenue that we won't be paying on that loan that we can use to replenish the funds on this.
You good with that? So, Mr. Furry, you okay with that? Not that you really have a option.
Absolutely, sir.
No, I was being sarcastic. What are your thoughts?
No, I'm good with that. I think you take it out and don't finance that, and we'll come back with a treatment plant and come up with a plan for what that looks like, line of credit or loan.
I mean, I suspect we'll be in another budget cycle. Yes, we do. Like we say, when we sign the contract with the winning bidder, we have to know where the funds are to award that contract. You can't sign a $5 million contract if you don't know where your $5 million's at. So I understand that, but I think we can figure out a way to come up with or replace those funds. It's a lot of money, but it's not a lot of money, but it is a lot of money. So do I have a motion to approve using CARES/ARPA without using the line of credit?
Motion.
Have a motion by Commissioner White, second by Commissioner Mobley. All in favor, aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries 4-0. So Keith, I think you know your funding source. And then Mr. Morrison, you have a board-approved contract.
So, Mr. Chairman, if we could have, Mr. Hancock wants.
I got one other thing, real quick. Thank you for doing that, number one. Number two, you're going to see a lot more of me because I want to see some activity out there. I'm tired of getting funds, nothing gets built. COVID building, you awarded a contract, I think, 18 months ago. We think it's going to get started next month. We think. I ain't seen the first shovel full of dirt go out. But that'll be the first one. But this is getting to be somewhat ridiculous. Nothing's happening except we get a lot of money.
So, Mr. Hancock, compliments to Mr. Furry. He did, and Mr. Hancock acknowledged that earlier. We are doing some design builds now, which I think will speed up the process. So I think that's good.
It's quicker.
And I do think that now that this board has just agreed to buy this piece of property, now we have a sure enough site ready for some of these, whether it be jail, public safety, EOC, whatever it may be. Now we got a site. So that when we talk to the state of Florida,
3 or 4 months,
or what, we can say, hey, this is our site. So I mean, and I'll say this, guys. I mean, I appreciate y'all's support. I mean, I kind of went out on a limb and negotiated this. My real estate background thought, if we don't buy this, somebody else is going to buy it, and then we'll never own it again. And I told Mr. Morrison this, like, let's play ball. Let's try to get this property tied up, and we'll take it to the board and see what they say. They may shoot us down, but I just felt like this was the right thing for us to do long term. So I appreciate y'all's support. I know we get beat up way more often than we get patted on the back, and that's okay. That's what we signed up for. But tonight, I appreciate y'all's support.
Two things, Mr. Chairman, before we move on. Keith, so when we get the finalized price, the closing date on this is actually going to be pretty quick once we get through that. You and Nina have been great, but do you need any more authorization to cut a quick check if we need to in order to get those funds over? All right, I just want to make sure you don't need anything else because I know you guys can.
Yeah, that'd be fine if you approve the purchase tonight.
Okay. And then the other thing, Mr. Chairman, is just if you could authorize, probably be now Chairman White, to execute any contract or county staff to execute any paperwork because, as you're aware, there's no closing that doesn't require a whole lot of extra paperwork.
Right. So do you want me to make a motion? Oh, I'm the chairman. I can't. So do you want to make a motion to authorize Chairman White? Okay, I have a motion by Commissioner Hale to authorizing the chairman after tonight, which would be Chairman White, to execute all real estate purchasing forms for the transaction and purchase of this property.
All documents necessary to effectuate
All
the
documents
purchase.
necessarily purchase the
what he
property.
said.
Have a motion by Commissioner Hale, second by Commissioner Mobley. All in favor, aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries 4-0. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Really hoping you wasn't going to buy it.
Thank you, public.
He really did call and ask me, like, what would it take if the county doesn't want it to transfer it to
I said,
me?
is it assignable?
Commissioner White, be quiet. Item 25, additional agenda. Mr. Furry?
Just for Mr. Oh, no additional items. No,
okay.
sir, I'm sorry. I was getting ahead of myself.
Oh, did I have something else? Oh, I'll bring it up when you get to yours. Item 26, interim administrator's comments. Mr. Furry. So I was going to ask you about the hay lease on Summit. I had a note here.
Yeah.
We were going to talk about it, not talk about it. Thought we had it, didn't have it, you and I.
We've got a draft, and then we made some revisions. We kind of, got some input from some actual farmers and land leasers and stuff to kind of get some feedback. So I need to tweak it a little bit, but we should have that out.
So you're going to go ahead and put it out for bid?
Mm-hmm.
Do you need authorization from the board to lease that?
I think we already had that, but
You got it? You already got it? Okay.
yeah.
That was my question for
Okay.
you.
So for Mr. Hancock's benefit and everybody else, I'll just give a quick project update on a few things. As I mentioned, the wastewater treatment plant, you did authorize to rebid. We'll do that March 3rd. We'll open bids in January. I think we're looking at January 20th, so we'll know more then. 68th Street, we are continuing to work out there with the city. It's a city-county project with some commerce funds, so utility work, lift stations, and then some road work, some paving on 68th when that's done. But they're working on site every day right now. COVID building, as well as our 3 community center projects, despite the lack of work that's been acknowledged, they are actually working. We're with the city permitting. Obviously, there's not much county permitting there, but we expect to turn dirt in December. So they'll be tapping lines and turning dirt, getting site work done over on Gold Kiss for the COVID building and John Hale Park, as well as the Douglas Center project. So they are moving forward. We're picking out colors. They're ordering buildings, doing all the stuff that takes long lead time, and then the contractors are slated to get out there in December. So we're going to be moving quick, and then you won't believe how fast it's going at that point. So. Yes, sir. The hay lease we mentioned. And just lastly, we'll be down in Ocala, just for the public's benefit, the FREDA conference, the Rural Economic Development Conference in Ocala the rest of the week. So that's all I had for you guys, unless you or anybody else has any questions.
No. Any commissioners have any questions for Mr. Furry? All right. Next item is board members. Commissioner Mobley.
Just remember to keep Maurice in your prayers, Commissioner Perkins, and keep the Rufus Davis family in your prayers over in Louisville. He passed away Saturday. I have a safe night or a safe drive home. Thank y'all for coming.
Appreciate y'all.
Appreciate it. Oh, Frank's using that one now.
Okay. Commissioner.
He could have been chairman. He could have been chairman.
Commissioner Hale.
Yes, sir.
Closing comments.
Did anyone mention Miss Fryer, Miss Burnham's mother passing away?
Miss Dora Starling.
Yes, definitely want to keep them in our thoughts and prayers. She was a great lady. She really was.
100%.
Yeah, and just thank everybody. I appreciate this board and appreciate what we can do together. And Mr. Bowe, I appreciate your kind words. We don't get those very often from him, so I'll take them and acknowledge them. So that's all I got.
Commissioner White.
Just a prayer from my old buddy Perkins and fellow commissioner. I really like the guy. Really think a lot of him, and I hope he's doing well, and I hope he gets better. That's all I can.
Thank you, Commissioner White. I would echo that. I think that everyone in the public, including our board, should continue to pray for Commissioner Perkins. The man is a strong man of faith, so I have no doubt that the Lord's with him and going to help him get better. And Perkins is certainly an asset to our board, a strong man of character. He's got a good business mind and truly an asset. So I know that we're all praying for him to get back to work and be with us. But I try not to mention too many people about keeping them in your prayers because I'm always afraid I'm going to miss somebody, or there's somebody that's hurting that I don't know, that I'm not aware, that I just don't. I mean, my paths don't cross them, so I'm not aware. So I'm not good at, and maybe that's bad on me. I apologize, but I'm not good at mentioning, hey, please keep this family in your prayers, keep that one, because I'm afraid I'm going to miss somebody that needs. I mean, we all need prayers, right? But I'm always afraid I'm going to miss somebody just because I didn't know or I didn't know them. But the Starling family and Miss Doris Starling, 90-something years old, 96 years old, indirectly family of mine. My aunt is her daughter, Miss Starling's daughter. But anyway, y'all keep them in your prayers. Longtime Suwannee County residents, good people. The Davis family, Perkins, the Glenn family. I mean, I'm going to stop there because I'm obviously already forgetting people. But board, thank y'all for your support tonight. I think I truly believe I wouldn't have brought this to you if I didn't think it was the right thing for us to do. So,
one thing before you finish. I just want to say what a great job you've done as chairman. I appreciate it. I think you did way better.
Well, thank you, Commissioner White. I don't have a farewell speech. Honestly, I'm ready to get out of this seat.
I know the feeling.
But now that you say that, I feel like I got to say something, right? Like, thanks for putting me on the spot. What the hell? It's been an honor and a pleasure to serve Suwannee County. I did this and I ran for this office because Ricky Gamble was leaving the seat, and at the time no one had signed up, and I thought, well, if I don't do it, who will? My kids go to school here. My parents live here. My grandparents live here. My great-grandparents lived here. If I didn't do it, who will? It's like David said, Lord, send me. Send me. I'll do it. And we sit up here and we get our asses kicked. I'm going to say that. We get our asses kicked more often than we get pat on the back. And we get our asses kicked by the same 2 or 3 people regularly. So I enforce and do a poor job of the 3 minutes, but sometimes I just get tired of getting my ass kicked. There's not a day that I sit up here that I take any one of these items on this agenda not seriously. My kids depend on it, the benefit of the county and Suwannee County schools and the sheriff's office to the fire department, like the decisions that we make affect everybody top to bottom. And it's like I told a citizen the other day who was accusing me of not taking my job seriously. I said, you know what? 30 years from now, when they go to that courthouse and they do a public records request on an ordinance or an adoption or a purchase or a proclamation, my name's going to be on that piece of paper. Yours ain't. I can promise you, I studied that front, backwards, left, and right because my name's on that paper. Don't accuse me of not taking my job seriously because that's my name, that's my legacy, that's my family's name that I'm leaving here. So to say that, and I say that for all of you guys, every single one of you, I know that y'all, and Commissioner Perkins too, multi-generation residents here, and I guess I'm on my soapbox because that's my last chance to get to be, but I'll say this about our board. We care about Suwannee County. And I wouldn't be up here if I didn't care about Suwannee County. So all we're trying to do is make this place better. Are we perfect? Hell no. Will we make some bad decisions? There was only one perfect person that ever set foot on this earth, and he ain't here. He's up there. So I'm not perfect. I never claimed to be, never will be. My wife will tell you that I'm not. But nonetheless, I never tell her that I'm not. But
That's right.
Anyway, I appreciate y'all's support. I'm honored to serve the people. I'm honored to serve on a board with 4 other like-minded guys that care about Suwannee County and are willing to sit up here and get your ass kicked some nights for Suwannee County. And I've said more cuss words than I'm supposed to be, but I don't think ass is a cuss word. My kids just can't say it. Nonetheless, thank y'all. I appreciate it. All I need is a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Have a motion by Commissioner Hale, second by Commissioner White. All in favor, aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. 4-0.
Thank you, sir.
Appreciate it.